and I'm here to talk about, will running help me get rid of cellulite? Now, when I say running, I'm talking about jogging. You know, there's a lot of actresses and models, and you open fitness magazines, and what do? They always seem to be jogging. You're like, well, I want to look like her. Why don't I jog? But if you're like most of us, you don't have a lot of time to work out. If you can squeeze out 3 or 4 half-hour sessions in a week, for some of us, that's all the time we can squeeze out. So while jogging helps, is it the best exercise to get rid of cellulite? And I would hazard to say no. And I'll go through the reasons why. First, let's understand where cellulite comes from. Now, cellulite, as opposed to anything you're going to read from a company trying to sell creams or potions or aesthetic treatments to get rid of cellulite, cellulite is a hormonal issue. That's the truth of the matter. When your hormones, your estrogen levels get too high, it triggers a series of reactions in the body which ultimately break down the webbing around your fat cells, which is collagenase. So when you're young, you have that nice smooth skin, and when that webbing breaks down, the fat cells float to the surface of the skin, and when you put on weight and those fat cells expand, you get that orange peel, dimpled skin that no one likes to look at. And 85% of women are fighting this. So hormone imbalances is a very, very common thing. Now, you can choose exercise that are going to help you balance your hormones. Jogging isn't one of those. You see, low, moderate cardio, while effective to burn a few calories, can actually do the opposite. It can raise the cortisol hormone in your body, and that actually tells your body to store fat around your midsection, and none of us want that. And you can just think about it. It's not uncommon for you to look out your door. How many joggers do you see in amazing shape? You know, the majority of them look Joe average, right? You want to be in amazing shape? Look at the kind of exercises that people do where one person after the next who seems to do that form of exercise seems to consistently look incredible. Now, if you had time, things that are going to really optimize your hormones for cellulite burning, there's a few forms of exercise. There's strength training, and there's a few forms of those. You can do anything from doing weights to body weight. There's high-intensity interval training, right? And then there's sprinting. Now, for my money, if you're a lady trying to get an incredible set of legs, you want to burn fat, sculpt your muscles, and especially get rid of cellulite, I think sprinting is the #1 exercise you need to do. Now, that's not to say you can't go for a jog, because some people just love to jog. It puts you in a nice mental space. It's a nice break. But if you're stuck for time and you only have a few sessions a week you can do, short half-hour sessions, those would have to be sprinting. If you have more time and you want to add on a couple of jogging sessions, go ahead. Just don't make them overly long, because that can result in raised cortisol levels. Now, in terms of sprinting, a lot of people are afraid to sprint. They're like, I'm going to pull a muscle, you know, I'm not exactly a teenager anymore. But there's a way around that to safely get into sprinting. And what you want to do is you want to start out, if we were to look at your workout, you'd want to start out with 5 to 10 sprint drills. And you would do them over the course of just 20 meters. So these are things like skipping A's, skipping B's, running backwards, butt kicks, karaoke's. Now, if you check out our YouTube section, you can see a lot of instructional videos on how to do those kinds of things. Well, you get 5 to 10 different sprint drills, and you do those over the course of 20 meters. You do one sprint drill for 20 meters, turn around, do another one. Turn around, do another one. And after you've done 5 or 10 of those, your heart rate is already going to be up. Now, the great things about these drills is they're not hard to do at all. They actually look really easy when you're watching them, but they're deceptively intense. You know, the next day you're definitely going to feel them, and in all the right places. The backs of your legs are going to be worked, your hips, the front of your legs. Not only that, the great thing about these is they prepare your body to sprint again. They work on your central nervous system so that you're going to have great form, and you're going to have the strength in your muscles so that they won't pull when you try to use that maximum effort to sprint. Now, before you go into out-and-out sprints, the other thing I would suggest you do is start sprinting on a hill. Now, why a hill? Well, a hill almost acts as your own sprint coach. You see, to run uphill, to sprint uphill, you do all the things that you want to do naturally to sprint well on flat surface. You lean into the hill. Your hips and hamstrings are doing most of the work. You drive your arms up nice and high because that's what you naturally do when you run uphill. So a great workout would be choose 5 to 10 sprint drills over the course of 20 meters, do them one after another, take a very short break, and then you're going to do 3 sets of sprints. You're going to do 6 sprints, just 20 meters up a hill, and you're going to do 20-meter sprint, walk back down, turn around, do a 20-meter sprint, do that 6 times, take a minute break, do another set of 6, take a minute break, do a final set of 6. Now that workout won't take you a half hour, but I guarantee you, you are going to feel it. Your heart rate is going to be jacked, which means you're burning fat for hours and hours after you're working out. You don't get that from jogging. Your muscles are going to be worked in all the right places. You're going to start to see those curves you want. And you're going to balance your hormones, because high-intensity exercise like sprinting encourages the hormones to balance. Now, along with eating a nice, clean diet, and I don't mean starving yourself, I mean eating plenty of good, clean food, drinking lots of water, and making sure you're getting a lot of rest and recovery, it's not going to be too long before you notice some monstrous changes from just a simple routine like this. So will running help you get rid of cellulite? Yeah, it'd help a little. But if I had to choose, I'd choose sprinting each and every time. Give that a shot, and if you want to find out more, come visit howdoigetgreatlegs.com. Later, gang.